You are Locked On Yankees POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yanks on the verge of elimination. That's right, one more loss, and it's to the golf course. The Yanks get roughed up in Game 3 of the World Series. Final score 4-2 in favor of the Dodgers. LA now leads the series 3-0. Clark Schmidt managed to record just 8 outs, but the bats were to blame. They've gone silent at the absolute worst time. The Bombers managed just 5 hits in the loss, and now the season could be down to its final day. As we said, 4-2 the final score. Dodgers now up 3-0. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. More than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman. That's Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Yankees game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We'll chat everything Clark Schmidt, who, as we said, came up small in the start for the Bombers tonight, not even getting through the 3rd inning. Aaron Judge continues to struggle mightily. It's absolutely killing the Yankees tonight. No exception. 2 more hits for Stanton. Soto gets on base again, but the offense, as we said, a whole lot of holes, if you will, in that lacking offense, to say the least, despite the Verdugo home run in the 9th inning. All that coming up on the postcast. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Once again, my name is Jay Berman. Follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Final score 4-2. And simply put, the Yankees offense is just not good enough at this point in time. They've gotten cold at the absolute worst time. They managed 5 hits. One, of course, there was the Verdugo 2-run shot in the 9th inning to get the Yankees within 2. Unfortunately, it came with 2 outs, and the Yankees couldn't get any closer. So just 5 hits on the night, 2 for Stanton. He was the only one with more than 1 hit. As we said, just 5 hits, and now the Yankees are in an 0-3 hole. And worthy of note, just because that's where we were going to lead with the offense, and quite possibly after a shutout, which of course didn't happen because of Verdugo. However, the last time the Yankees were shut out in a World Series game, and they showed the highlight tonight, which stung a little bit, 2003 versus the Marlins in Game 6. That was the Josh Beckett clincher, the shutout. And we almost had it again tonight, but of course Verdugo rescues the Yankees from at least a shutout. And that's about all you can be happy for at this point in time for Aaron Judge and the Yankees. As for Judge, he has just been invisible. And it's hard to say it's been a great year for Judge because he's going to win the MVP. However, I'm thinking most Yankee fans will remember this run or lack of a run as part of a sour 2024 season. Again, despite the MVP, which is surely coming his way, 58 homers, 144 RBIs, hit over 320, came close to winning the Triple Crown. However, when it meant the most, as it does in New York history, when it meant the most, he has just come down with a case of the whiffs. Judge now 1 for 12, 7 strikeouts in the World Series. How about this in the postseason? 6 for 43 with 20 Ks during the postseason. And again, 1 for 12 in the World Series. On the flip side of things is Freddie Freeman, who once again goes yard. And that really set the tone. The crowd was loud. The crowd was into it. And then 6 to 8 minutes later, after the first pitch, it's a 2-run shot from Freddie Freeman off Clark Schmidt. And all the air was let out of the building. Really remarkable stuff. considering it seemed like the Yankees had that home field edge that they wanted so desperately, having the middle three games, 3, 4, and 5. Now we don't even know if we'll see a game 5 on Wednesday. Of course, game 4 is Tuesday, and we'll get to the preview of game 4 coming up. But again, the disposition of Judge next to Freddie Freeman, Freeman with a home run for a 5th straight World Series game. 2 with the Braves, now 3 with the Dodgers. That ties a World Series record with George Springer. Now, if Freeman hits a home run on Tuesday in game 4, not only will he break that record, but he's likely heading towards a World Series MVP as well. All right, Teoscar Hernandez gunned down Giancarlo Stanton at home to end the 4th inning. A lot of mistakes tonight, one of which was right there. Luis Rojas sending Stanton there was a mistake in that 4th inning. It was 3-0 at that point in time. Yanks had a chance to get back into it, and that was a huge mistake. And considering the way things went in the top of the 4th inning, when Nestor Cortes got Ohtani to chase strike 3 and then gets Betts to line out to left field to keep it 3-0 Dodgers, the next half inning, the Yankees start their climb back, if you will. And then the mistake with nobody out, Luis Rojas sending Stanton there, who was slow. Yes, it took a good throw, but the only Yankee that wasn't going to make it, maybe 2 Yankees, at least in the starting lineup tonight, Giancarlo Stanton and Jose Trevino. Neither of those would have, neither of those runners would have made the play safe at home. Regardless, it was a risky send by Rojas, and it turned out to be the wrong one, and it killed momentum there. It would remain 3-0 into the 6th. That's when the Dodgers would strike again, and they would get one more to make it 4-0. And, of course, at that point in time, you could hear a pin drop in the stadium. What's interesting about it is since the Yankees took a 3-2 lead in game 1 at the top of the 10th inning, when you figured everything was heading in the Yankees' direction, well, the Dodgers have now outscored the Yankees since then 12-2, and they've taken a commanding 3-0 series lead. Now, we've seen teams down 0-3 in best-of-7 series come back. We do not need to discuss it tonight. That's a topic for another day. However, we have not seen that in the World Series. So the odds are really stacked against the Yankees now. As we said, they dropped the 4-2 decision. Clark Schmidt, 2 2/3, 2 hits, 3 earned, 4 walks, 3 Ks, and the home run through just 68 pitches, only 37 for strikes. So the splits were not good there. Clark Schmidt, not good tonight. Did not get the job done. And yes, we want to pick on the offense, but Schmidt was not nearly good enough, managed to record just 8 outs. Mark Leiter Jr., he got 2/3 of an inning under his belt, did walk a batter and allowed a hit. That's when Cortes had to come in to get Ohtani, which he did. Nestor pitched well, needed 15 pitches just to get an inning and 2/3. Then Cousins, Hill, Holmes, Canely, Weaver. Boone emptied out the bullpen tonight, and it wasn't enough. Walker Buehler, 5 innings, no runs. He pitched well tonight. There were 2 starts for Buehler in the National League Championship Series, an excellent start and a terrible start. Well, now in the World Series, he's got an excellent start. Who knows if we'll see Buehler again in the series if the Yankees are lucky enough to extend it. Gratterall, Vesia, Hudson, Bonda, Brazier, and Kopech all chipped in as we counted up together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Yankee pitchers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dodger pitchers for a total of 15 pitchers. Really amazing stuff. But again, some big outs that the Yankees were not able to get early. And then obviously some big spots the bats could not come through late, despite the Verdugo home run. Even with that Verdugo home run, even with the top of the order coming up, it just felt like it wasn't meant to be. There were so many attempts tonight for the Yankees to get on the board, and they came close, and they just could not get it done. They could not get over the top in regards to runs being scored, and because of it, they lose a 4-2 game, which was really 4-0 for the better part of 3.5 hours, and tonight's game was super slow. Regardless, it's an 0-3 hole now, and we have to pick things up as we look to game 4. Luis Gil will get the start for the Yankees. It'll be a bullpen game for the Dodgers. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at game 4. We'll take a look at Clark Schmidt's start, and obviously have to get into Aaron Judge's struggles. All right, you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users. Sign up today. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app to win. And download it today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Again, that's Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, once again, it's a 4-2 loss for the Yankees. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers as the World Series continues from New York. We figured a scenery change might help things along. It did not. The bats continue to be silent for the Yankees, who managed just 5 hits, 2 runs. The late Verdugo home run was obviously the run-scoring hit for the Yankees. We talked about Aaron Judge, who goes 0 for 3 tonight with a walk, does strike out again. Judge now 1 for 12 in the World Series and has struck out 7 times. He's 6 for 43 with, get this, 20 strikeouts in the postseason. He's got 43 official at-bats, 20 strikeouts, which seems pretty impossible to replicate, considering the season he had, as we said, over 320, nearly 60 home runs, nearly 150 RBIs, practically won the Triple Crown. He's going to win the MVP, and yet in the World Series, in the biggest spotlight possible, he's got 1 hit. In the postseason, the biggest spotlight possible, he has 6 hits in 43 at-bats. He's hitting 140. He's slugging .302. Slugging .302. His on-base percentage is .280. Just horrible. 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 And it's hard to pick on one guy. But when you get the big contract and you have the monster season and the Yankees are the favorites heading in, the number 1 seed, well, it's tough. It is absolutely tough. And for some reason, the Yankees bats just went cold at the absolute worst time. Not taking any credit away from the Dodgers pitching. I will say this, however. The Dodgers are a far superior opponent to both Kansas City and Cleveland. And it's no disrespect to either of those teams, but the Yankees up in class here in the World Series, and we're certainly seeing that. The Dodgers haven't even played their best ball. Obviously, the Yankees haven't either. But the Dodgers have been crisp. The Yankees have not. Base running mistakes, defensive mistakes, obviously ice-cold pitching and ice-cold hitting. The Dodgers have been, despite not their best, solid. They don't make the mistakes the Yankees make. And because of it, they're taking advantage of it. And because of it, the Yankees are not. And that's why we have a 3-0 lead for L.A. All right, not to pick on Dave Roberts, but having Tommy Edman bunt with runners on first and third, nobody out in the 4th inning, was very strange for so many reasons. And I know, obviously, in the win, but I pointed this out because it felt like at that point in time, the Dodgers could have blown it open. First and second, nobody out, decides to lay down a bunt with Edman, who came in hitting nearly 400 in the postseason. Edman was, of course, the NLCS MVP. Smoked the Mets. So really, I wanted to point that out just because nobody's perfect. Dave Roberts has, he was playing small ball tonight with a lead on the road in the World Series, up 2-0, up 3-0 in game 3. So very interesting timing there. from Dave Roberts. As we said, since the Yankees took a 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th inning in game one, when we all thought everything was set up perfectly after a Cole win, well, the Dodgers have outscored them 12-2. So in basically 2 full games, the Yankees have 2 runs. Remarkable stuff. As the Yankees lose once again, 4-2. Gleyber Torres 0 for 3 at the top. Juan Soto 0 for 3 at the top. However, Soto did walk, and that increased his on-base streak in the postseason to 23 games. So despite not doing much hitting-wise, Soto did get on base, and he continues to provide offense for the Yankees. He's hitting .326 this postseason, slugging .650. So he is not the problem. The problem is Judge. And Stanton, once again, 2 more hits. He's hitting .300 in the postseason. Jazz 0 for 4. Jazz, Volpe, Rizzo's been okay, but Trevino and Verdugo, with the exception of the home run late, not much from the bottom of the order. And when Torres, Soto, Judge, and Stanton aren't hitting, the Yankees are just not going to win. That's just not how it works. All right. And in case you missed it, Fat Joe was on hand to, I guess, celebrating the festivities. It was sort of a lackluster performance. Didn't get much out of it. Not sure the Yankees did either. It was the first World Series game of the Bronx in 15 years. 15 years. The 104th World Series games in the Bronx all time, which is by far the most of any. We won't call it city because we're not counting the Mets World Series games, just in the Bronx, just the Yankees World Series games, 104 World Series games in the Bronx all time, by far the most of any city/ballpark. All right, what's interesting about Booney tonight was that the Yankees changed pitchers during the, get this, 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, all in the middle of the inning. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitching changes. The Yankees had just 5 hits. So if I had told you a mid-inning pitching change, how many times would that happen compared to how many hits the Yankees would get? We all know what you would say. Yes, the Yankees would out hit in the mid-inning pitching change. However, tonight's different. A very interesting night, to say the least, as the Yankees lose 4-2. As we said, we will set you up for game 4 after this quick break. All right, listen up, NFL fans. Now is your chance to start the season with a big return. Yep, you can do it with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So here's what you do when you have a hunch in the middle of the game. Go over to FanDuel, check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. The best part, it's all on the same page where you place your bets. Everything is right there for you. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. As we said, a very frustrating night for the Yankees. The bats just could not get out of their own way. Managed just 5 hits. Judge, invisible. Jazz, invisible. Juan Soto went 0 for 3. Didn't do much. Did walk, extend that on-base streak to 23 games, as we said. However, Austin Wells, who didn't start, had 2 at-bats in place of Jose Trevino. They combined to go 0 for 4 and strike out twice. So not much there. Anthony Rizzo had a hit. He's been solid, hitting over 300, 364 to be exact. So he's certainly not the problem. But top to bottom, the offense is just not getting it done. And Clark Schmidt, to be honest, let the Yankees down. I think there was a lot of good vibes before the game. They always say in a best-of-7 series, it doesn't start until the home team loses a game. Well, the Yankees still had a chance to hold serve. Could they have won 3 games on their home turf? Would have been difficult, but not impossible. Obviously, now it is impossible because they can't get back to L.A. up 3-2. That cannot happen. At best, they can get back to LA down 3-2. So really, really, really heady times for both the Yankees and the Dodgers. As we said, Walker Buehler We talked about the two starts in the National League Championship Series, one good, one bad. Well, he had a good one in the World Series. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Obviously did not allow a run. Threw only 76 pitches. Was actually surprised he didn't go further. 45 strikes on 76 pitches, as we said. But again, 4-2 the final score. Both teams went to their A relievers, obviously in a tight game. Hudson, Bonda, Brashear, Kopech for the Dodgers. Meanwhile, for the Yankees, obviously we saw Leiter and Cortez come in after Schmidt, but Hill, Holmes, Canely, Weaver, all there. It's all hands on deck. Everybody's going as far as they can go at this point in time, even with a deficit. And even for the Dodgers with a 3-0 series lead, they're still going to use their high leverage guys really in every single game. But the narrative now is, can Aaron Judge and the offense get going? Is it too late? Odds are it is too late. However, they're not dead yet. Not on the golf course yet. As we said, the first World Series game of the Bronx in 15 years since the Yankees won Game 6 against the Phillies in 2009 and captured their 27th World Series title. Well, if there is to be a 28, it's going to have to be in come-from-behind fashion. And obviously that celebration, if it were to take place, would have to be in L.A. Yankees need 2 wins on home turf, then travel out to L.A. and win Game 6 and 7 there. All hands on deck. As we said, for game number 4, which will be tonight, or technically tomorrow night, Dodgers and Yankees, as we said, it's a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Dodgers on the verge of winning a title. However, they don't have a starting pitcher for game 4, which means the Yankees had the advantage. They are small favorites, minus 130 on the money line at this point in time. Luis Gil will get the start for the Yankees as they once again will try to stave off elimination. Gil versus a bullpen game. As we said, the star tonight, Freddie Freeman, and he's been the star of the first 3 games of the World Series. He's hit a home run in all 3. He's now hit a home run in 5 consecutive World Series games. That ties the record with George Springer. If Freeman homers on Tuesday, that'll be the record. 6 consecutive World Series games with a home run. He's cruising towards a World Series MVP. Obviously, the grand slam in game 1, the back-to-back with Betts in game 2, the early home run of the first inning in game 3, and who knows what script he'll write for game 4. All right. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees. That's Stacey Gotsulias and Brian McKeon. They handle all the stuff there. They're the best, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Yanks in an 0-3 hole. Aaron Judge cannot get out of his own way. As we said, it bears repeating. 1 for 12 with 7 Ks in the World Series, 6 for 43 with 20 Ks in the postseason. He's got 43 official at-bats. 20 have resulted in a strikeout. Just miserable. And he is one of the biggest reasons the Yankees are now in an 0-3 hole. Dodgers win it behind Walker Buehler, and once again, Freddie Freeman with the home run. 4-2 the final score. They lead the series 3-0. We'll be right back with you tomorrow night for game 4, and we'll see if it's the final baseball game of 2024.